Well, good evening. It is great to have you tonight. Welcome to EBN Prime Edition. We're coming to you live from Kenya's capital on this 3rd day of October 2024. Thank you very much for your wonderful company. We've got quite a lot making headlines across the country, from the corridors of court, where Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has been dealt a blow concerning his impeachment motion, as well as the President William Ruto as well has been dealt a blow concerning the university funding model. So, as I've said, it is a jam-packed session tonight, but first, the day's top stories. Blow to Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua as court fails to suspend the public participation on the impeachment motion, which begins tomorrow. Ruling UDA party distances itself from talks on extending presidential term limits from 5 to 7 years. Blow to President William Ruto as court halts the implementation of the new university funding model. All right, engage with us. We are live across all our streaming platforms tonight. My name is Cynthia Nanjala. EBN Prime Edition kicks off right now. We kick it off from the corridors of court, where the High Court has declined to stop Friday's public participation on the impeachment of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. Justice Bahati Mwamuye directed applicants to serve respondents ahead of the mention next week on Wednesday. Fighting for survival, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua had filed a petition at the Milimani Law Courts to suspend the motion to impeach him is founded on deceit and misrepresentation of material facts. These falsehoods, he says, have been peddled to the public so as to achieve an unconstitutional purpose. The Deputy President further goes on to state that the motion is a choreographed political lynching designed to defeat the sovereign will of the Kenyan people expressed at the presidential elections held on August 2022. Gachagua has taken issue with the one-day period provided by the National Assembly to facilitate public participation during the impeachment process. He also sought an order prohibiting the Assembly as a whole from processing, passing, and transmitting to the Senate any resolution founded on the notice of the motion dated September 26th. Now, still with the Deputy President, all eyes are on Parliament as public participation takes center stage on Friday, tomorrow, across the country in a highly anticipated impeachment debate of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. Members of Parliament have been called upon to facilitate discussions at the selected venues and ensure that citizens' voices are heard, as well as views which will help shape the impeachment process. Our reporter Caroline Muthoni has more.
Consideration of the special motion for the removal from office by impeachment of His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua.
The National Assembly has made a move to seal any loopholes by involving public participation in the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua's impeachment motion, eliminating all fighting chances in court. This process gives Kenyans an opportunity to give their views and a chance for the Deputy President to be heard before the House. This decision was announced by National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula in order to insulate the process for legal roadblock witnesses who normally appear during impeachment of county bosses.
I wish to clarify that the public participation program additionally contemplates the collection of views at the constituency level. In this regard, I confirm the officers of the clerk shall be present to assist the collection and compilation of views from onward transmission to the office of the clerk through the respective collection compilation centers specified in the public advertisements. The House is accordingly guided. Thank you.
Public participation will be conducted across all 290 constituencies, coordinated from 47 specific locations across the country from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. In major cities like Nairobi, the activity will be conducted at Bomas of Kenya, Mombasa at Tononoka Social Hall, Nakuru at Kenya Red Cross Hall Nakuru, Kisumu at Tom Mboya Labour College, and Eldoret at County Hall.
On the place for public participation, as far as this notice of motion is concerned, because looking at the jurisprudence that has been made by the courts and the lower legislative arm, which is the county assemblies, on the impeachment of the governors and deputy governors, Mr. Speaker, you will realize and notice that many impeached governors or their deputies challenge their impeachment based on the process of public participation. Honorable Speaker, this is unprecedented, and of course it's my view that to replicate the same, to what happens on the impeachment of governors and deputy governors, and they invoke the element of public participation.
Several members of parliament, including Gilgil MP Martha Wangari, have commented on the ongoing impeachment, emphasizing the importance of upholding the law and respecting parliamentary processes as the motion is set to be debated in the coming days.
Sababu tulifanya kampeni pamoja, mnakumbuka tulikuja hapa na yeye siku ya kampeni, tukakuja na president hapa siku ya kampeni, na tukarudi tena wakati wameshinda. Kwa hivyo nasikia uchungu wakati tunajaribu kutenganisha. Itakuwa ngumu sana. Simuache tuende tupigane hiyo vita kule. Na nyinyi mpigane vita ya maombi. Mpigane vita ya nini?
The impeachment debate is set to begin on October 8th, 2024, where the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua is expected to avail himself from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. for questioning against the charges filed against him in the impeachment motion. Muthoni Caroline, reporting for EBN News.
Thanks, Carol. Now, Kenyans from across the country continue to weigh in on the impeachment motion submitted before Parliament on the removal of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. While the clergy calls for sobriety amongst the top leadership of the country, Kenyans are divided on whether members of Parliament should proceed with the impeachment.
Kesho ni siku ya kutoa maoni, na sisi tunasema vile MPs waendelee na hiyo kazi wamepewa, na wamalizane asubuhi mapema, sababu tunataka mwenye alibiwa haki yake arudishiwe mapema.
President alikuwa anachaguliwa ndio kuwe na amani kwa hii nchi yetu na tupate maendeleo. Na kama kumetokea burugu kati yako na naibu wa rais, tunaomba huyo naibu wa rais aondolewe mara moja ndio Kenya ipate amani. Kama ndio sababu njia tu ya pekee tutaweza kuwa nayo ya kupata amani nchini Kenya na tupate maendeleo, wacha aondoke, mwingine aingize. Na si mwingine Kithure Kindiki.
Ni tofauti na hizi zingine huwa zinaendelea Kenya kwa counties, kwa sababu hii ni impeachment ya deputy president. Kwa hiyo ni deputy wa mtu ambaye ni mdozi wake. Na ukiona imefika hapo, then unaona kuna maneno iko ndani, kwa sababu maybe ni wrong choice ya candidate wa deputy. Lakini leo tuko hapa, sana mimi niko hapa kusema kwamba kama kuna mabadiliko inafanywa pale juu, sisi tuko macho sana, na raundi hii hatutaekwa vile huwa tunaekwa wakati mwingine.
Nataka nikuambie Wameru wamekaa ngangali wakiwa wanangojea, ukibandiliza usibandiliza na mwingine ni Kithure Kindiki.
Hatuwezi amini ya kwamba kama hiyo public participation wataweza kuikubali kadri na maoni ya umma vile watakavyosema, lakini tukiangalia kama Nakuru County wameweka, tutakutana hapa Nakuru County, na Nakuru County ni kubwa sana. Watu wote wataweza kufika mahali ambapo wameweka hiyo kikao ili tuweze kuongelea mambo ya deputy president. Mimi ningesema kama wangefanya vizuri sana, wangeweza kuweka kwa vote ili kila mtu aweze kuparticipate na tuchukue views za kila mtu, kwa sababu sisi kama wananchi hatujakubaliana na wabunge kuweza kumtumua deputy president, kwa sababu kama deputy amekosea ni kumaanisha hata mkubwa wake amekosea. Ni kumaanisha kama wanataka aende, tufanye election tena, turudi kwa uchaguzi tuweze kuchagua viongozi wengine.
Mimi naungana na wale wabunge ambao wameamua kumtimua naibu wa rais, kwa sababu naibu wa rais amejionyesha yeye kuwa kiongozi wa mlima, na yeye ili hali alichaguliwa kuwa kiongozi wa Kenya anaonyesha picha mbaya, mimi naonelea ni vyema aende nyumbani au achaguliwe kuwa kiongozi wa mlima ama chief wa pande hiyo, kwa sababu Kenya ni kubwa na Kenya sio mlima. La pili, pia mimi naunga yale mazungumzo itakuwa inaendelea katika kila sub county ya kuonyesha ya kwamba tuko tayari sisi watu wa Kakamega tunaungana na wale wengine wote kumtimua huyu bwana aende nyumbani, rais apate mtu ambaye anaweza naye fanya kazi bila kusitasita, ule atasaidia kusukuma gurudumu la kuendesha Kenya hii.
Mimi nitajitokesha kesho asubuhi kwenda magharibi kule Kakamega hapa kumuondoa naibu rais, kwa sababu naibu rais anapishana na rais kwa kufanya kazi. Rais anaposema watu watoka hapa tunataka tuwajengee nyumba mzuri, yeye anaenda kuambia mkaeni hapa kapata mtafutiwa nyumba zingine, na hiyo ni kama choko mbili zinakutana, na hapo sisi ndio tutaumia. Kwa hivyo kutaka maendeleo iendelee mpaka Gachagua aondolewe, rais apate yule mwingine ambaye anafanya naye kazi.
Huo mchakato pia ni mzuri, lakini jinsi wanavyotekeleza haistahili. Sisi Gachagua na Rais William Ruto walichaguliwa ni Wakenya kutoka janibu mbalimbali, na kama walichaguliwa kutoka janibu mbalimbali, tunataka kuona huu mchakato ufike kutoka kwa polling stations, si county level. Tutakachopendekeza pia kipelekwe jinsi kilivyo, wajadiliane na waamue, lakini hatutaki Gachagua haende.
Now, this is quite an important impeachment motion to which your views, that is on the public participation, will really matter. And so the places have been gazetted across all the 290 constituencies, 47 selected places. That means each county gets one place to which residents of that particular county can go and submit their views as well. So keep out for that tomorrow. That is an exercise that will be happening for the better part of Friday. But still with the Deputy President, now a former NIS officer, Thomas Kimoto, has filed a court case against the Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, for remarks he made on June 26, 2024 in Mombasa, accusing the National Intelligence Service of failing to provide proper intelligence to President William Ruto. The case, which has been set for hearing on October 8th before Justice Richard at Kerugoya High Court, also names the Attorney General as a respondent. Kimoto is seeking an apology from Gachagua, arguing that the Deputy President's statements harmed the reputation of the NIS officers. The petition further requests a temporary injunction to hold any impeachment proceedings against Gachagua, with all parties required to respond by October 7th.
We have filed a case against the Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, and we've done so because of his utterances, the ones that he made in Mombasa on the 26th June 2024 regarding the NIS. We have taken a date, that is on the 8th of October 2024. We were told to serve him, and we are also trying to stop the impeachment process of the National Assembly. Reason being, we feel that the grounds that we have are the same grounds that are being used for impeachment. Therefore, we wish that we be heard first, and that's why we have taken our case to court. More specifically, we want him to apologize. If he is able to come forward and apologize to us, and especially the NIS officers or any persons affiliated to the NIS, then at least we are able to feel that we have been heard. Perhaps this is what is wanted, because we want him to make good the laws he has done by apologizing to my client and anybody else who was affected by his utterances in Mombasa. The case is petition E013 of 2024 before Honorable Justice Richard Mwongo at Kerugoya Law Court. That is where the petition is going to be heard, and it's going to be heard on the 8th of October 2024. So we are hoping he's going to appear, or he's going to send a representative Of course, we've also sued alongside the Attorney General, but we have also served the Attorney General.
Now, away from that, Mombasa County Governor Abdul Swamad Nasir has recorded a statement at the regional police headquarters regarding the abduction and sodomy of a 25-year-old blogger based in the coastal city 3 weeks ago. The victim, Bruce John, claims that a group of about 20 county officers abducted him at his home in Bamburi on September 12th for criticizing Nasir's leadership before assaulting and taking turns sexually assaulting him at Miritini area. Addressing journalists after recording the statement in Mombasa, Nasir urged the police to expedite investigations into the inhumane incident.
I was in Nairobi yesterday. Immediately I came in. Today morning I had official engagements, and immediately after my first engagement I have personally presented myself to be able to give any information, and I'm calling again for us to be able to get justice for this young man. Any single person who has any information whatsoever, please do avail it to the DCI. There is no normal human being who will actually say that whatever happened was the right thing. Of course I condemn it. But at the same time, we need to be able to now talk about justice for this young man. I have done my part as a citizen, as a person who has been mentioned. I have gone myself to the DCI, and I'm asking any other person, if we want justice for this young man, the best we can be able to do is anyone who has any form of information to please reach out to the DCI. These are things that we do not want to see, not just in Mombasa, but anywhere in this country. These are things that should not be seen. Let the DCI do their work. The truth will eventually be able to come out. But again, I am repeating again, let this not be about me. A young man has been, something brutal that was done, and this is not about me. It will be unfortunate if others want to ride it to be on me, but let it be known, I have brought myself to the DCI. I have told them that if they do require my mother, by all means, I will bring her. The information that they required, I provided it. Whatever it is that I wanted, that they wanted, I was able to give it to them.
Government spokesperson Isaac Mwaura has confirmed that there are indeed challenges in the transition from the National Health Insurance Fund to the Social Health Authority. However, he says the government is working quickly to address these issues and ensure smooth health service delivery.
Kuko na shida ya transition kati ya NHIF na SHA. Kwa hivyo kutakuwa na shida kidogo tu, lakini itasawazishwa. Kwa sababu tumebadilika tu mara moja. Na ujue tulikuwa tunasonga mbele, mara inasemekana tumeenda kotini. Mheshimiwa Rais tarehe 19 Novemba mwaka uliopita ndiye alizindua mpango huu wote wa SHA pale State House, na tulikuweko. Na hata hiyo siku ni ile ambaye aliniambia Mwaura, sasa nenda fanya kazi.
Wakati tulianzisha juzi, kulikuwa na mashinda katika facilities zetu na serikali na hospitali zetu, ni kwa sababu ya ile overloading of the system wakati watu wana register, lakini tulisema ya kwamba mtu akifika katika hiyo hospitali aweze kuhudumu.
All right, so at that point we take a quick breather. Stay with us, we'll be back shortly.
Every Saturday from 8:30 a.m.
But we should not be afraid to interpret scripture.
Get to know the story behind the Bible. Why was it written? To whom was it written? And what was happening when it was written? Understand, get to know, learn how to properly interpret the scriptures so that you're not deceived.
In the book of Revelation, and we have started to enter into the happenings because these are things that are going to take place hereafter.
Join Pastor Felix Kevoy and his team as they go through the different books of the Bible and give you the theological interpretation of the same.
At the very introduction of the book of Revelation, the book lays clear what is contained in here.
Every Saturday from 8:30 a.m. on The Theology Show, only on EBN, transforming your world.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Detectives on Wednesday discovered a body believed to be that of a missing taxi driver, Victoria Mumbua Muloki, who went missing after picking a passenger in Mombasa. The finding came hours after police claimed that the taxi driver had been found unconscious in Migori's Uriri area. However, the family later disputed the report, saying that they were yet to get in touch with their kin. Muloki's body was discovered by the Directorate of Criminal Investigations at the city mortuary in Nairobi following interrogation of the prime suspect, Edwin Ngetich. Ngetich was apprehended on Sunday while in possession of the victim's vehicle in Nakuru. Preliminary investigations assessed that the victim's body was found in a thicket in Mai Mahiu next to a road in Lari, Kiambu County.
They can't bring back my sister. Security, Nini, I don't know how. My sister was found at Gilgil. From Mombasa mpaka Gilgil. I don't know what happened. Jana ndio nilipigiwa na tukakuja kuconfirm. So we are still waiting for a postmortem. That's my sister. She was killed. Niko na DCI. Na wao huyu jamaa ndiye aliwapeleka mahali alirusha sister yangu. This is why we killed her.
President William Ruto's administration has been dealt a blow in its quest to provide quality education after the High Court suspended the implementation of the new university funding model. In a ruling delivered on October 3rd, Justice Chacha Mwita ordered the model to be temporarily halted pending the hearing and determination of a case filed by the Kenya Human Rights Commission last year. The judge noted that the case was long overdue due to the delay by the Attorney General, the Education Cabinet Secretary, and the Kenya Universities and Colleges Central Placement Service in filing their submissions. On October 13th, the Kenya Human Rights Commission, alongside the Limu Bora Working Group, Boaz Waruko, and the Students' Caucus, filed a case against the model, arguing that it will lock out thousands of students from accessing funds. Let's keep up with party politics. Now, the United Democratic Alliance, led by President William Ruto, has rejected a proposed constitutional amendment bill introduced by one of its own elected leaders, seeking to extend the current presidential term limit from 5 to 7 years. In a sharply worded statement, UDA Party Secretary General Hassan Omar described the bill, sponsored by Nandi Senator Samson Cherargei, as a cynical, profoundly misguided and self-serving initiative that threatens the democratic principles hard fought by the Kenyan people. In the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill 2024, Senator Cherargei seeks to extend term limits for holders of elective offices, a proposal that has strongly been rejected by his party, UDA.
I know this thing is unpopular, especially for people who want to become presidents. And that is why I've seen even, and you know, interesting in Kenya, I've seen some governors who are serving their second term have been calling me, some MCAs. They have been asking, why don't you include us in this proposal of extension of term? Because they want also to be part.
Mimi nataka niambie Cherargei awajane na hiyo maneno na asiongee, awache kabisa. Tunakataa kinakanaka kabisa. Tunataka hiyo limit ya president iwe tu hiyo miaka 5. Mtu akifaulu kwa 5 atutengenezee maendeleo aende nyumbani.
Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi has said implementation of Kenya's Holistic Productive Capacities Development Program calls for a long-term multi-sectoral and programmatic approach. The 10-year program, set to commence in 2025, aims to reshape Kenya's economic future and fast-track the realization of the country's development agenda by building strong economic foundations and empowering people, businesses, and institutions to innovate and compete and thrive. This, he said, is essential if the country is to build the productive resources, entrepreneurial capacities, and institutional linkages that will enable Kenya to achieve sustainable economic development.
Let me also underline the need for us to move away from short-term project-based interventions. The HPCDP underscores the need for a long-term, multi-sectoral, and pragmatic approach. This is essential if we are to build the productive resources, entrepreneurial capacities, and institutional linkages that will enable Kenya to achieve sustainable economic development. The focus of this program on fostering economic diversification, enhancing industrial competitiveness, and improving national policy coordination will be central to our success. It is through this integrated approach that we will create a conducive environment for job creation, innovation, and inclusive growth. The Holistic Productive Capacities Development Program is not an isolated initiative. It is intricately aligned with the government's strategic priorities and long-term vision. The programs focus on economic diversification, industrialization, and digital transformation.
The Kenya Medical Research Institute KEMRI research team at the Mtwapa facility have disclosed that the ongoing clinical trials of the M72 vaccine that began 3 months ago will take another 5 years before it passes the trials for safety and efficiency and declared as a new TB vaccine. Speaking at the Kenya Medical Research Institute facility in Mtwapa, the study trial site manager Caroline Ndila disclosed that 4 KEMRI facilities are among the 60 worldwide sites where the clinical trials are ongoing. KEMRI Director General Elijah Songok attributed the flare-ups of new viral infections to climate change and border movement, sentiments echoed by the KEMRI chair Abdillah Ali, who asked Kenyans to be wary of the virus infections and outbreak as they remain prepared for any eventualities. TB vaccine trial principal investigator Wilson Muraya said there is no TB vaccine for 15-year-olds and above for now, meaning they're all at risk.
The study period will be taking around 4 to 5 years. So within 4 to 5 years, we'll be looking at the data, and after that, we'll know the efficacy and the safety of the data, and then it can be been rolling out once we have the final results. We've just started. We started in July this year, so this is our 3rd month. There are 60 sites within the world. In Kenya alone, we are 9 sites, and 4 sites are from KEMRI. And Mtwapa is one of the sites. We also have a site here in Mombasa, and other sites elsewhere in different counties within the country.
Outbreaks occur. There is no way we can be able to predict that there's going to be an outbreak today. Outbreaks can occur anytime, especially when the conditions are ripe. And one thing we are facing currently is because of these climate change issues. We are seeing a lot of flare-up of new infections, new viruses, new bacteria because of the changes in the environment. And also, as we are getting into the forest, we are pushing into the wildlife zones. So we are getting infected because that is not our area. So the conditions are becoming more riper for us to have new infections because climate change and our own ways of trying to get into these sylvatic populations. So it's not the thing that there's a time that we only say that there's going to be mpox.
Infected in anywhere, and the next day you are here. And when you are here is when you arrive to infect others. Possibly before that it was dormant for some time. Then it becomes active. So we just want to be careful. clear that we are prepared and ready. We are not saying that there's something we know which we are hiding. No. But you know, Rwanda and here is how many hours by flight? An hour.
Not even by flight, even by car.
By road.
By road.
Whatever.
Yes.
Truck drivers, movement everywhere. The inbox, you know the way things were, where it came from and where it was found. So this is just precaution. That's all.
Let's get sporty. Football Kenya Federation presidential aspirants for the December 7th elections have Thursday raised deep concerns over the alleged electoral malpractices ahead of the polls. Speaking at a press briefing in Nairobi on Thursday, the aspirants say they want the polls conducted in a manner that upholds the core values of a free, fair and all-inclusive election overseen by an independent body. They included Hussein Mohamed, Sami Owino, also known as Kempes, former FKF President Sam Nyamweya, former Harambee Stars midfielder McDonald Mariga, and Kenyan Premier League Chief Executive Officer Jack Oguda.
The following. Number one, the Electoral Board to be the oversight in the electoral process and appoint either IEBC or the Law Society of Kenya to conduct the elections exercise with immediate effect. To immediately and transparently notify the members and stakeholders on any changes or updates made to the voters register and adherence to the Sports Act 2013. The FKF President, Nicholas Mwendwa, and the General Secretary, Barry Otieno, be completely removed from participating in any role at the Electoral Board, and we call upon the DCI and the EAC to investigate their conduct immediately. The Ministry, point number 4, the Ministry of Sports immediately undertakes to change the location of the FKF Electoral Board from Kandanda House, as there has already been a deliberate attempt to sabotage the entire process due to the current location.
All right, so that brings us to the end of our broadcast tonight. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that you're up to date with what is making headlines across the country now. As I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, tomorrow is such an important day across all the 290 constituencies in Kenya. That is all 47 counties, as the public participation exercise for the special motion on impeachment of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua will be taking place. That means you have an opportunity to give your views on whether or not he should be impeached, and you can access, the selected venues, because there's just one per county. You can access it and perhaps go give your opinion on what should be the next step of action. So that is something we'll be keeping tabs with tomorrow. We'll be having our eyes and ears on the ground just to bring you the latest on what happens, how the exercise will be, as well as what is the way forward for the second in command. So allow me to put a full stop to that for tonight. See you tomorrow, same time, same place. My name is Cynthia Nanjala. Blessed evening. Keep warm.